before I call up my brother Michael, that last night was so special. Who was here at the pre-conference last night? Yes, it was an amazing representation of that creative genius of young people performing and just showing what it means to collaborate and to love each other and support each other. We also had Black Stacks in the house. We had some grown-up music as well, and their soulfulness was just off the chain. So I just want to acknowledge that. David and I are especially excited today because we get to introduce someone who means a lot to this work and to us. Dr. Michael Lipset, the new Executive Director of For Learning.
Good morning. You're welcome. I love this conference. For me, it's an opportunity to see people I care about and know are like-minded, travelers in this voyage towards reimagining education, remixing education. We have folks here from Montreal, San Diego, Los Angeles, Hawaii, Philadelphia, Seattle, New York, make some noise, Wisconsin, Ohio, Las Vegas, and perhaps best of all, right here in the Twin Cities. We have people in town from the Youth Build Charter School of California, the High-Tech High Graduate School of Education, the Center for Love and Justice, the Midwest Mosaic Group, LIR Cultural Coaching, UT Austin, there's going to be a long list, Bridgemakers, Education Evolving, the Hope Survey, By Monday LLC, Connections Academy, the Minnesota Department of Education, Melody, the Residency, Team Yellow, Chalet Kent, No Bad Sound, Cause, the Studio 4 Montreal team, Word, McGill University, Education Reimagined, Hill Freeman Academy, Black Stacks, and if I miss you, I'm so sorry. I love all of them. In absentia, we have the National Artists Guild and the D School at Stanford University, and it goes without saying, as Tim mentioned, we're living in trying times. Times unprecedented in the life of my generation, but not unprecedented in the modern history of North America. They say our greatest threat right now is not right-wing tyranny, but left-wing apathy. Here at the Remix Ed conference, though, we get to be the mixer between two turntables. And that's not a call for middle ground politics. It's not a call for watered-down approaches to teaching and learning. It's a recognition that binary frameworks aren't complex enough to help us solve the problems of today. Instead, we need to enter the rhizome of the remix. It is a place of endless possibility, of kismet and unforeseen collisions. Much like a classroom, this conference is a place where we as organizers can only control so much. The rest, however, is up to us, what happens between the organized. In my position as full-time Executive Director of For Learning, the organizing entity of this conference, I could not be more excited to see what you all drum up within the next couple of days. It is absolutely an honor and a privilege to have been selected by the For Learning Board of Directors and my co-founders, Tony and TC, to lead this organization that is carrying forward the great work of this historic institution. 27 years, the High School for Recording Arts, which today is an absolute triumph in the field of education. When TC started this school in '98, he did it with the spirit of Prince in his heart, the revolution of hip-hop in his soul, and a love for young people whom other schools had failed. It is with that same spirit that I take up the mission of For Learning, which is to end learner disengagement through inspiring, joyful, creative, lifelong learning opportunities that empower and liberate young people in their communities. And it is with that mission in mind that I say to you, enjoy the conference, enjoy each other's genius, and welcome to the Remix Ed Conference of 2025. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you someone who is also considered, informally, a co-founder of For Learning. He incubated and continues to house Studio 4 Los Angeles, the second high school for recording arts style program in the US within his own Youth Build Charter School of California, which is itself an organization serving thousands of opportunity youth across California and doing so with justice at its heart. He is unwavering in the face of political headwinds, unflappable in his willingness to try new things, even at his own risk. He is a father, a grandfather, a leader, a pioneer, the founder of the Youth Build Charter School of California, a mentor to me, and co-founder of many other education programs around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the only keynote speaker of this year's conference, please give a very warm welcome to Phil Matero.
All right, good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Michael, for that introduction. Really appreciate you. Appreciate being here today. This is exciting. So I'm Phil Matero. I'm the founder and CEO of Youth Build Charter School of California. I'm going to talk a little bit about our school later, but I just want to start with a couple highlights. We are a school that is created to support young people who've been pushed out of the traditional school system. I work with a team of educators and youth workers who are just committed to this mission in the most amazing ways. And we do everything we can to make sure that young people who've been pushed out find their way back to school, back to successful futures through the programming we can do in combination with community. So we've been around for 18 years. We're in 18 different communities, and over 7,000 young people have graduated from our school over that time. Yeah. So we're located in the neighborhoods where young people are, where there's a lot of young people who haven't completed high school or are out of work. So we're in Compton, we're in East LA, South Central. We're in the neighborhoods where these young people live, and we're committed to those communities. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. But anyway, I've been doing this work for a long time, almost 35 years. I started at the LA Conservation Corps as a job trainer because I had experience as a construction worker. So I started there as a job trainer, moved into education, and I just love this work. I love being with young people. I love the energy that happens when young people's lives are energized and they're inspired to move on. I mean, that keeps me here. 35 years, I'm not tired of this work at all. I love it. I'm still going, full speed ahead. But it's just been an honor and a privilege to be in this job. And it's just been a pleasure for me just to be here together with all of you. I mean, this is a special conference. It's unlike any other one I've ever been to. I love the innovation, the energy that happens here, the openness to new ideas. So I just hope you all have a really amazing time while you're here, and have a great time at Lipset. This is the place to be right now. Okay. So, and I do want to thank too. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate Tony. I met Tony at a conference years ago. Immediately realized this guy's a kindred spirit. I met David, same thing. These guys, Michael. I mean, everybody here at HSRA has been just you can tell there's just a sincere, deep commitment to young people, and it's just a privilege to work with you all and be a part of this. So thank you for inviting me to be here and talk a little bit about our school. So I really want to start, first of all, though, and talk a bit about some new things that I've been learning. So I've been spending a lot of time lately, last 7-8 years, up in northern Manitoba with the First Nations community that's been very inspiring to me. And I want to talk a little bit about what I'm learning there. So the traditions that they have had for many years in bringing young people into adulthood are very impressive to me. I think there's a lot to be learned in just the way that happens. Now, some of the traditions have really been interrupted by the residential schools that took young people out of the First Nations communities and forced them to go to Canadian schools, and we did this in the U.S. as well. It really for many years sort of cut off and really tried to interrupt the traditions that happen in First Nations communities. But they're recovering. I mean, I was just there. I spent the last 10 days in a First Nations community up in northern Manitoba. And a lot of things we talked about was how they're recovering some of those traditions that have been lost. But here's the tradition that I think is really important for all of us. And this has been going on for literally thousands of years. The community knows the young people really well. They understand what the strengths and desires and weaknesses of each young person is all about. They know what the community needs as well. And there's a very intentional process of bringing young people through that process of finding their place in society. And it's done with really a lot of love and respect for who the young people are, what they're all about, what they're interested in. And so this matching that happens is really impressive. It's an incredible tradition that's been going on for a long time. And let me tell you just a little bit about this First Nation community. So 5,000 years before Jesus walked this earth, a group of people got together where three rivers meet in northern Manitoba. This community became the Nissequoiastic Cree Nation. That's how they're known today, or NCN for short. But they have been caring for that land for 7,000 years now and passing on traditions and values like the ones I just described for generation to generation. And this has been, to me, a really inspirational time to understand that the things that I really have always cared about and always believed about education are things that they've been doing for this amount of time. That it was just very affirming for me to hear about their traditions and what they're all about and to learn more about it. And I first went to Nelson House, where the NCN community is located, from Youth Build Global, who assigned me to go there to work with them on developing a Youth Build program. Youth Build is a program that includes job training, education, counseling, and post-program activities. Well, when I went to the NCN community, I found that there was a lot of alignment between what Youth Build's all about and what their community values were all about. And so it was really inspirational to work with them. When we designed the program, we really connected things like counseling was done through the Medicine Lodge. The job placement was done through elders in the community who knew what was needed for work in that community. The education was rich with the traditional teachings and values of the community. So this First Nation was our first experience in this, but the Assembly of First Nations in Canada has now adopted Youth Build as their primary youth development model for the country. And so we're going to see a lot of expansion of the Youth Build model. And really, Youth Build's just trying to pull together what already existed, right? The traditions were already strong and relevant. We're just helping to reorganize things and try to revive some of what was lost. So, but anyway, the 634 nations, sovereign nations in Canada, will now have access to Youth Build, and we're hoping to see a great expansion in the communities. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, right? Thank you. Okay, so unfortunately though, that's not what I see in schools in North America or Europe. I do work around the world, and I don't see in traditional schools this intentionality, right, of bringing young people in a very supportive and loving way into adulthood. Right? What are we doing here? I mean, this is what schools are intended for, right? I mean, that's our system for bringing young people up into adulthood. I mean, obviously you have your family, but I mean, that's our institution that we've created for this. But when you look at what we do in traditional schools, I mean, it's not intended to bring young people through in a positive way. I mean, really, most of the young people who come through are not feeling ready and prepared to take on the world and become a productive adult in society who realizes their dreams. So, and one of the things I'm gonna say is one thing that is really counterproductive to the purpose of school is the way that we test and grade students in a traditional system, right? So, I mean, we're trying to prepare them for their future, but what do? Do we give them opportunities to be in community and figure out how their strengths and skills operate and how they make an impact in community? No. Do we take them out and do we really give them workplace experience and help them test out some dreams that they have about their future? Not typically. What we do is we give them tests, standardized tests. And that creates an assessment of their value in society. I mean, this really impacts students in a big way. So, you know, I think we missed the point a little bit about what schools are all about, and testing and grading is one thing that really affects that. So I think sometimes though, I understand that testing gives you something to work with as a school. I mean, the system will then have numbers that they can look at, and they can rank schools against each other and figure out which states are better in school and communities. So I get the need for standardized testing, but it really doesn't work. Not for our students especially, but I don't know that it works for too many at all. I mean, when you have one test, one standard for all students, I mean, some are going to meet the bar, but others are not going to, because all students don't connect in the same way. We all know students who are, you know, really well versed in the topic. They seem to really understand the material, but when they're faced with a multiple choice test, they may select the wrong answer because it's tricky sometimes, right? And it doesn't give students an opportunity to showcase what they're really good at. The test is set for everybody, but it doesn't give each student the opportunity to talk about or to express or to demonstrate what they love about learning and what they've learned during their experiences in the class. So anyway, we're putting students through this 180 days a year, 6 hours a day, and I think there needs to be a lot more intentionality in what we're trying to achieve through that. And I'll just say, like, as an educator, I think a lot of us educators were probably pretty good in school. You know, we maybe did okay on those tests, and so maybe there's a little perpetuation of that because we did okay and we think other people should be able to do okay as well. It's just not like that. I'll tell you, when I was in school, I did pretty well in school. I figured out what the teacher wanted, was able to regurgitate that on the tests, and did okay. Got usually A's and B's. But my sister, we took the same classes, had the same teachers, took the same tests, but she got C's and D's always. It was always an issue for my parents. You know, she was always behind. They were making her work hard on homework. You know, do more. You're not working hard enough. You know, there was punishments involved. Anyway, it didn't change anything. I mean, she took the test. She always kept getting C's and D's, and after a while, I mean, she just gave up on this. She just decided, I guess it's true. I guess what the school system says is true. I'm a bad student. I'm not going to really become much because I guess I'm deficient in some way. And that really took it to heart. I mean, that really affected her and affected her self-image at an early age in life. So I guess I want to transition for a minute. Many schools, though, have really moved away from this, right? I think HSRA, many of you have realized this, that, you know, the traditional system is not really working for a lot of students. And so we've all been working to come up with ways that are you know, within the system that we're able to create a new environment for our students. And that's really, you know, part of it is moving away from testing and getting into more authentic assessments, doing project-based learning or problem-solving learning, you know, finding ways that students are able to make the learning more relevant to their lives, making it more applied learning. That's awesome. I mean, I think we're on the right track with that. And I think we've seen that, and we can do better. We can make a school, we can set up a school that really values who a person is as a student and not who they are as a number, right? We can move beyond that. We can open up the doors of creative expression for our young people and really support them as they really dream big and think about who they are and what they want to be in the future.